An Anne Arundel County man is dead after officers say he refused to give up his gun to police.
Officers shot and killed him at his home this morning where they were attempting to enforce the new red flag law.
Hey there, friends. Thanks for checking in. I knew it was only a matter of time before something like this happened. Red flag laws are horrible. I reported on it 6 months ago. Very few people seemed interested in it. I knew that it was dangerous for gun owners. I knew that people would get their guns confiscated. As much as the anti-gunners tell you, nobody's coming for your guns. We just want to prevent crime and gun violence. They are coming for your guns, and they will take them under any measure possible. Red flag laws are horrible. Even many gun owners just sat back and let this happen. I'm outraged by this. This is the truth, and this is what I reported on 6 months ago. Take a look at this, and we're going to come back and talk about what happened in Maryland.
After officers first showed up here to attempt to remove guns from a home and ended up shooting and killing the gun owner.
A red flag bill, in short, is a process that leads to confiscation. If they are successful with that, then the rest of us will have to live with the outcome of this, and it is not good. Common ground. This is common ground. We're coming to the center, and we're coming up with agreements. That means if you're part of the 12% that don't agree with it, then you're extreme, and we can't even have a conversation with you. Common ground means that there are only restrictions. The extreme risk protection order means that a close person to you could make a claim against you. That claim would go in front of a judge. If the judge agrees that claim is relevant, he would sign an order, and you would, as the gun owner, would have your guns confiscated. It'd have to be a family member or a former spouse. Now, how many dysfunctional families are you aware of? The information submitted does not even have to be the truth. There's a 60-year-old Maryland man named Gary Willis. He gets a knock on the door at 5 a.m. Knowing that this is unusual, he grabs his handgun, as most of us would. He answers the door and then realizes that it's law enforcement. So he puts his gun down and has a civil conversation with them, most likely expecting that there was something going on in the area that made them come to his house and knock on the door at 5 a.m. He then realizes that through the conversation that they are there to confiscate his guns without any prior notice that a red flag law was deemed against him. They came and they said, "We're here to take your guns." Immediately, he reaches for his handgun. Now, this is the normal response I think that I or you or many other gun owners would have when someone says, "We're here to take your guns. Here's a judge's order, and we're coming after your guns. We're confiscating. We're leaving with your guns." No prior notice, no forewarning that they were coming. They just came to take his guns.
He was fine with the officers until they told him, "Hey, we're serving you with this order, and this order orders us from the court to take your gun."
Under this red flag law, they came to confiscate his guns. No forewarning, not a crime committed, just a complaint by somebody that said this guy's dangerous. And so he did what most people would do, grab the gun and say, "You're not taking this." There was a struggle with that gun. One of the officers and him was struggling with the gun. The gun fired. The other officer shot him dead.
That bullet didn't hit anyone, but it prompted the other officer to open fire, shooting and killing the gun owner. It's a deadly beginning to a law that's barely a month old and that Anne Arundel County Police have only had to enforce 9 times so far.
Don't fall for this false narrative that it's common sense gun legislation. We're meeting in the middle. It's common ground, and that most gun owners are in favor of this. This is not good. This is a violation of your protected Second Amendment right.
These are particularly dangerous because not only do we know there's weapons involved, we're also taking the weapons.
The only thing that stands between safety and evil intent is your gun. The only thing that stands between freedom and tyranny is your gun. The very thing they don't want you to have. We need to resist this red flag legislation at all costs because it is dangerous to gun owners and it lacks so many freedoms. It's unbelievable. I cannot believe this is catching ground state by state in the U.S. We have to resist it at all costs. I appreciate you watching. And you guys be safe.